about the R language also. I'll tell you specifically why the SAS people, experts other than SAS people who uses the R language also. I'll explain that particular concept. Let me introduce for the today's class. So today is going to be completely just a basic. Today's our agenda is going to be very simple. It is going to be just an introduction. So it is going to be introduction to which is going to be statistical analysis. Okay. So what is going to be statistical analysis and why do you require them? And apart from that, what are the different type of statistical analysis languages? So which support statistical analysis? What are the tools and what are the languages which we can use in statistical analysis? Tools and languages, we can say that. And apart from that, we also do some basic introduction to which is going to be installation of which is going to be R language also. So these are the mainly our today's agenda, guys. Okay. So let me introduce about what is basically statistical analysis, guys. Basically, generally, as you know that we are living in the era of data era. So completely we can say that. So we are completely living in the era of data. So we know that what is the data era. So completely our daily life is completely filled up with data. Without having a data, first of all, we cannot live. The position was such a way that without having the data, we can't live nowadays, guys. So without generating a data, every day everybody will generate the data. So don't think that previously, some years before, 20 years before means, what is the data? What is the data means before 20 years means? Like for example, if a customer go to a bank and if he does a transaction, then it is going to be a transaction. It is going to be the data. That is 20 years back. So if you go to some application, so go to a bank and do some transaction, or let us say go to a store and purchase something, that is going to be that is what we used to call it as data. But nowadays, that data meaning itself has been changed, guys. The complete definition of data itself has been changed. So how the people are defining the data now? The people are defining the data now such a way that anything that has been, any value that has been, anything, not only value, anything that has been stored in a digital format is nothing but what they are calling it as a data, guys. So nowadays, even data generation, how do you generate the data? So it's not like whenever you go to a bank and do a transaction, or whenever you go online and purchase and something, or whenever you go online and book a ticket. That is what the people used to call it as data. But nowadays, data is not like that. Even if you sit idle also, without doing anything, while you are sleeping also, we are generating some data. Isn't it? While you are sleeping also, we are generating the data. Tell me, guys, anybody, while we are sleeping, some data is getting generated. So what type of data that is getting generated while you are sleeping? Anybody?
Monitoring the sleeping
Yes, absolutely. Your smartwatches. Yeah. It is going to be your smartwatches is going to generate some lot of data while you are sleeping. Like what is going to be your heartbeat rate. Okay, and it is going to be something like it is going to be what is everything. Even we are sleeping also, we are generating some data. Yes, the data is getting stored somewhere. So it is not stored in your smartwatch because smartwatches are not that much enough storage may not take place. So every half an hour it is going to take out, it is going to collect all the which is going to be the heartbeat, and apart from that, even the body temperature they may capture it, or it can be some other. So there are also smartwatches has came. So sleep tracking. So all these are going to be some of the data that is getting generated. So nowadays data has become very important in our life. So people what they used to do, okay, you are storing the data fine, but apart from storing, why should I generate this data? So do some analysis on that. And based on that, you can take some kind of a decision. So like heartbeat, while you're collecting the heartbeat rate, for example. So whenever the heartbeat rate has been exceeded a particular limit, immediately we want to warn them. Or let us say the average, this is the heartbeat in your in this particular week. So this is going to be the average heartbeat levels. So what the people want to do is, it's not only just to store the data, they're not only storing the data, they want to do some kind of an analysis. Okay, so basically there are two types of analysis will be there, guys. Basically, one is going to be what we are going to call it as. That is what we call it as business intelligence. So business intelligence is nothing but where they will mainly try to analyze mostly with the business data. Mostly with the business data, it is going to be study the data. So I'll tell you what is the difference between a business intelligence and a statistical analysis. So business intelligence means something like something relevant to some business criteria. Like we can say, like what is the total sales in the month of January? What is the month of January? How much total sales we have been done in the Hyderabad? Or let's say that it is going to be in the year of 2023. So what is going to be the average profit we have got? Total profit, or what is the average profit? Average profit means there are, let's say, multiple stores are there. So a company is having multiple stores across the countries, across the nationals. So what is the average profit what we have got it, or what is the total sales that we have been done? So these are what we generally call it as a business intelligence. So business intelligence always try to understand what has been happened. It is going to be what has been happened. So what is your data? What is your data? That is what basically the business intelligence try to understand it. Like examples, I can say that like we'll try to calculate some average, maximum, mean, which is going to be median. Not median. Median does not generally comes under the business intelligence. But count. These are going to be some of the whatever the basic type of analysis what we do. Generally, these are called as aggregates. These are generally what we are generally going to call it as aggregations are going to be aggregations, or what we generally call it as the summarize. That means we want to get some kind of a summary about the business. So it may be summary means it is going to be on particular criteria, like year-wise the summary I want to require it, or month-wise summaries you require, location-wise summaries you require, customer-wise summaries you require. That is what we generally call it as business intelligence. So generally what type of tools that generally we use it in BI? There are so many business intelligence tools are there. You may hear about Power BI. So Power BI is basically it is used for the reporting, and basically they will use, they also support statistical, but maximum they will support only based on these particular aggregations only. So even there is a reporting tool also, this Power BI is a reporting tool, guys. But maximum what they will try to visualize some average, max, mean, count. These things they will try to visualize the data. So simple to say that what has been happened if you want to know. Okay, what is our data? What has been happened? So to know that we use a business intelligence with the help of some aggregations and summarizations like some average, max, mean, count. These are generally the things we do. Then the other side is going to be something called as a statistical analysis. We want to find it out. Sorry. So what is statistical analysis? Statistical analysis does not try to find out like what is our data. So what happened? What is our data? They don't want to find it out. Like statistical analysis is nothing but where they want to try to understand how is the data. So they don't want to understand what is the data. How is our data? How the data was there. So that is what basically the statistical analysis is going to be trying to do that. Hope all of you have already a little bit started learning your SAS. So maybe they have already taught a little bit about this particular statistical analysis, little bit. So try to understand it. It is not to understand what is your data. So what has been happened, they don't want to know that. They want to know that how is our data. So how our data was distributed. So these statistical people, whoever the statistical experts is there, they want to get some kind of an analysis based on some kind of an statistical numbers. So what is the statistical numbers are going to tell you is to make you understand that. For example, let's tell you it easy to understand it. So how is our data means? It is going to tell you how the two variables are going to be related. Relationship between two variables. Relation between which is going to be two variables. It is going to tell you. So I'm telling only one of them. It's not that it is going to be only there is only factor which we have to consider that. So there are so many things. I'm telling that I'm not talking about what is your data, how much sales that has been done. It is not like that. It is going the relation between that particular two variables. Like for example, why this sales has been got decreased. For example, in business intelligence, we'll try to find out how the sales. Okay, in so and so location in Hyderabad, the sales has been got decreased. But on what factor? Why this particular sales has been decreased? That is going to be the statistical analysis can tell you. That means on what factor these sales are dependent. So which factor is highly affecting that particular sales? So whether it is increase or whether it is decrease, how it is getting affected? Who is deciding that? What is the factor that is deciding? So is it customer? That means is it depending on the customer, or is it particular on the location, or is it particular for what reason it is going to be? Why the sales is more here? Why the sales is less here? The business intelligence also will tell you, but that has to be we have to do it manually. Okay, so why we have to find it out? So why the sales has been decreased? But in statistical analysis, it will tell you why this particular. That means otherwise, too easy to understand it. So like for example, in an e-commerce site. In an e-commerce site, whether a customer will buy this particular product or not. On what basis? What will be the factor which will decide whether this customer will buy the product or not? Or what factors will decide whether a customer may invest in some investment plans in the, let's say, in a banking or in financial organizations? Okay, or it's better to say that. So in the HR departments will try to understand what is the factor which that is going to be decides whether a person or a candidate is going to accept the offer or whether he is going to reject the offer. So these are going to be some of the things generally which we can do. So we are not trying to understand what is our data. How is our data? We are trying to understand. So how is our data? So how we can say that this sales, on what basis we can say the sales has been getting decreased, on what factor it is going to be defining, how it is defining, all these things we can do with the help of a statistical analysis. That is what the statistical analytical people will do that. And that too, it is a little bit higher level of statistical analysis. That much level it is not required because you are not from statistical background, right? All of you are not from statistical background. Maybe some of you are from statistical background, but at least some basic mathematical and basic, and you know that statistics is a part of your mathematics only. And you know that what statistics is going to be deals with. It is mainly to understand the distribution. Mainly they will talk about distributions of data. Maybe we hear about what is normal distribution, what is a uniform distributions. They'll talk about a different type of distributions of data. So up to that level it is not required for you, but a basic idea of what exactly the statistical analysis is going to be done. So what is meaning of a statistical analysis means whenever we have been given with some kind of a data, it can be any data. It can be a business data or some kind of a research data, or it can be medical diagnosis, or it can be something data related to the medicine performance, or it can be something like related to population, economy, anything it can be, technology, anything it can be there, guys. Anything it can be there. So it is going to be gender ratios, okay, child birth ratios, anything it can be there. So what they will do, they will try to analyze the data. For example, child deaths, which is going to be the birth rate, the death of the birth rate. So which is going to be, that means whenever the birth is taking place, some children are going to be that dies. So due to some reason. So what factors that are affecting? So what is going to be the cause of that? What is business intelligence will tell you in each and every year how much deaths has been taking place, it will tell you. But statistical analysis will try to find out why that particular death is occurring. What is the root cause of that? So what is the reason for that? So that is what basically the statistical analysis. So hope you understood that what is the difference between them. Business intelligence will tell you what has been happened. Statistical analysis will tell you how it has been happened. So that is the difference between the statistical analysis and this particular business intelligence. Okay. Fine. Now coming to the tools and different languages. So who can do? That means to perform the statistical analysis, previously some years before what this, there are some statisticians used to be there. So a person who is an expert in statistics, generally we are going to call them as statisticians. Yeah, it is going to be statisticians, what we generally call them as. They are experts, masters in statistics. They know the different types of statistical theories. They will apply the statistical theories and they will do some kind of a conclusions. They will do that. Okay, some kind of an estimations. Like for example, in the next year, over the time period. For example, some statisticians works for a hospital. So as you know that over the time period, the number of it's going to be the number of beds has to be increases. So how much it has to be increases? So let's say that over the time period, how they are increasing, they will analyze that. They'll apply some statistical theories, and after that they will say that in the next 2 years, so we have to increase. Currently, let's say that the hospital is a 500 bed hospital, so we have to increase to which is going to be 1,000 bed in the next coming 2 years. So for that we have to take some action, some kind of even we can say that some kind of a predictions also can be done with the help of which is going to be the statistical analysis, which is not possible with business intelligence. In business intelligence,